Hello and welcome and namaste from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi jointly delivers keynote address with his UK counterpart Keir Starmer at the Global FinTech Fest in Mumbai. The event becomes a showcase of the widening cooperation between the two nations. The UK Prime Minister holds bilateral talks with Prime Minister Modi in Mumbai. British Defence Ministry announces $468 million worth missile deal with Delhi. A total of 9 UK universities cleared to open their campuses in India. Both Israelis and Palestinians rejoice as officials confirm the signing of the first phase of the ceasefire and hostage exchange deal between the two warring sides. And Hungarian writer Laszlo Krasznahorkai wins Nobel Prize in Literature 2025. The award body says the epic writer has bagged the honor for his compelling and visionary oeuvre. The Global FinTech Fest 2025 got underway in Mumbai with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and British counterpart Keir Starmer addressing the event. Prime Minister Modi said that India's digital ecosystem is setting global standards for innovation and inclusion. He said that India is not only sharing technology with other countries but also helping them develop it. He termed it as digital empowerment and not digital aid.
हम दूसरे देशों को टेक्नोलॉजी शेयर करने के साथ ही टेक्नोलॉजी डेवलप करने में भी मदद दे रहे हैं और ये डिजिटल एड नहीं है, वरना दुनिया में कई लोगों को शौक है, हम एड दे रहे हैं। समझदार को इशारा काफी है। ये ऐड नहीं है बल्कि डिजिटल एम्पावरमेंट है।
Pointing out that UPI alone facilitates 20 billion transactions every month, with the transaction value exceeding 25 lakh crore Indian rupees, Prime Minister Modi stressed that out of every 100 real-time digital transactions globally, 50 take place in India alone.
आज हर महीने 20 बिलियन ट्रांजैक्शंस हो रहे हैं। इनकी वैल्यू 25 ट्रिलियन रुपीस यानी 25 लाख करोड़ रुपए से अधिक है। आज दुनिया के हर 100 रियल टाइम डिजिटल ट्रांजैक्शन में से 50 अकेले भारत में होते हैं।
And British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, while addressing the FinTech Festival, used the phrase incredible combination to describe the UK-India Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, or CETA, highlighting the blend of India's rapid economic growth and Britain's strengths in technology and innovation.
We are so committed to this because we see India's potential. This country holds the promise of the future in its hands as the world's biggest democracy, one of the world's largest and fastest growing economies, with half of your population under 25 years old. The vibrancy and promise of this nation are clear, especially here in Mumbai. And when this all comes together with the UK's talent and creativity, with our institutions and entrepreneurs, it is an incredible combination.
Now, Prime Minister Modi addressed the India-UK CEO Forum as well, and he was joined by British Prime Minister Keir Starmer there too. The two leaders reiterated their commitment to elevate bilateral cooperation to new heights. During his address, Prime Minister Modi highlighted the India-UK Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, emphasizing its potential to enhance collaboration and unlock new opportunities for both the nations.
आज टेलीकॉम, एआई, बायोटेक, क्वांटम, सेमीकंडक्टर, साइबर और स्पेस जैसे क्षेत्रों में हमारे बीच सहयोग की अनगिनत नई संभावनाएं बन रही हैं। डिफेंस के क्षेत्र में भी हम को डिजाइन और को प्रोडक्शन की ओर आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। अब समय है कि हम इन सभी संभावनाओं को कॉन्क्रीट सहयोग में बदलने पर तेज गति से काम करें। क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स, रेयर अर्थ, एपीआई जैसे स्ट्रेटेजिक सेक्टर्स में हमें स्ट्रक्चर्ड तरीके से आगे बढ़ना चाहिए। इससे हमारे संबंधों को एक फ्यूचरिस्टिक दिशा भी मिलेगी।
Meanwhile, hailing the ties between the two nations and talking about the overall business potential with India, the British Prime Minister underscored the growing strength of UK-India relations, emphasizing the pivotal role of business and investment in shaping the bilateral partnership.
I see this as a celebration of the partnership between the UK and India and a clear display of our belief in the potential. And I think I have to reference the diversity of the delegations, particularly on my side, because we've got diversity within the pure business side. We've got huge, really important businesses and investors amongst the key businesses investors when it comes to our relationship with India, and iconic businesses. We've got medium-sized businesses, smaller businesses, but we've also got huge talent and experience across in finance, in sport, in tech, in manufacturing. And whilst we've been here, we've been able to do deals on films. Yesterday I saw the Premier League doing their coaching training that's going to go out across the whole of India. I think all of this shows that this is not a narrow enterprise around just one or two sectors. It's a much broader ambition than that.
And Prime Minister Modi, as well as the UK PM, visited the Geo World Centre in Mumbai on Thursday. Both the leaders explored a vibrant showcase of India's art and craft. The leaders inspected a range of products reflecting India's rich cultural heritage and craftspersonship, underscoring the importance of creative industries in fostering global partnerships. Now, earlier the two Prime Ministers met Vice Chancellors from leading UK universities as well. Discussions spanned key areas of collaboration including technology, defence, artificial intelligence, sustainable development and renewable energy. Both the leaders expressed a strong commitment to deepening educational and cultural linkages between India and the UK. And Prime Minister Modi also held bilateral talks with his UK counterpart in Mumbai. The talks were aimed at strengthening the India-UK Comprehensive Strategic Partnership under the Vision 2035 roadmap. Now, this marks Prime Minister Starmer's first official visit to India following the signing of a major free trade agreement earlier in July. Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Starmer also held delegation-level talks in Mumbai. The British PM is accompanied by the largest ever UK trade delegation to India, which includes 125 prominent business leaders, entrepreneurs and university vice-chancellors. Now, heads of leading UK universities who were part of Prime Minister Starmer's delegation said the visit to India was highly fruitful. They lauded Prime Minister Modi's leadership and praised the national education policy as forward-looking framework for deeper global academic collaboration.
We'll be opening our campus in Mumbai this time next year in 2026. It's a really exciting moment for us to be here in India. We've been working with the British Council and with the Department of Business and Trade to make sure that we, along with the 8 other universities who are establishing campuses here in India, deliver absolutely the best educational experience possible for people in India who want a UK higher education degree. It's amazing. I can't wait to come back to Mumbai.
This has been a fantastic trip. It's been absolutely amazing. It's wonderful to have higher education recognised by both the Indian government and the UK government. There are 9 universities here today. We're all deeply committed to India and developing higher education in India because we see the talent and the capability of young people in this country as being absolutely core to the future growth and development, not just of India, but of global citizens and the global workforce. So this has been a wonderful opportunity for all of us.
Now, on UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer's visit to India, India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri said the British Prime Minister arrived with a 125-member high-level delegation. Prime Minister Modi met with his British counterpart in Mumbai, where the two leaders reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening bilateral trade and strategic cooperation.
The first major area is obviously trade and investment. The free trade agreement that was signed in July is now undergoing the process of ratification in both the countries, and both leaders in fact remarked while even as this process is going on, how excited the trade, business and investment communities in the two countries are at the prospects of the full implementation of this agreement. And in fact, much of the time yesterday between the business leaders of the two countries was spent on making plans for future investment, future trade cooperation between the two sides. So this visit has in fact given both sides the opportunity to discuss deepening their strategic economic engagement in order to derive the full benefits from tariff reduction under the FTA.
The Foreign Secretary further said that the two leaders signed several new agreements in Mumbai aimed at expanding cooperation in education, defence and maritime security.
As you might be aware, the UK Carrier Strike Group is currently off the western coast of India, exercising with the Indian Navy under exercise Konkan. The two leaders discussed the possibility of collaboration in electric propulsion technology and the implementation of the Defence Industrial Roadmap. Two leaders also discussed cooperation in the maritime domain, including in the Indo-Pacific, and welcomed progress made in establishing a regional maritime security center of excellence to further our cooperation under India's initiative of setting up the Indo-Pacific Oceans Initiative.
Now, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has met with Australia's Foreign Minister Penny Wong on Thursday during his official two-day visit to Australia. In the delegation-level talks, the leaders discussed ways to strengthen the growing India-Australia comprehensive strategic partnership and deepen cooperation across key sectors, including trade, technology, connectivity and regional security. Penny Wong called India and Australia joint custodians of the Indian Ocean. Now, the Defence Minister also paid tributes at the Australian War Memorial and laid a wreath there. Also earlier on Thursday, Rajnath Singh met with Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and hailed the fillip that's been given to the bilateral ties. During the meeting, the Australian PM underscored how India and Australia's defence partnership is built on trust, shared interests and a commitment to a peaceful, secure and prosperous Indo-Pacific. A welcome to country smoke ceremony was also held at the Australian Parliament to honour and welcome India's Defence Minister. The ceremony was part of a reconciliation process as it acknowledges the traditional ownership of the land and involves Aboriginal Australians in events that take place on their traditional lands. Now, the Nobel Prize 2025 in Literature has been announced. Hungarian author Laszlo Krasznahorkai has received the honour for his compelling and visionary oeuvre that, in the midst of apocalyptic terror, reaffirms the power of art. That's what the Academy said. Now, the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences has announced the award on Thursday. Born in 1954 in a town near the Romanian border, Krasznahorkai became literary sensation in Hungary with his first novel, Satantango, published in 1985. His Hersh 07769, published this year, is described as a great contemporary German novel on account of its accuracy in portraying the country's social unrest. The Nobel Committee said in Herrscht 07769, we find ourselves in not a feverish nightmare in the Carpathians, but rather a credible portrayal of a contemporary small town in Thuringen, Germany, which is nevertheless also afflicted by social anarchy, murder and arson. At the same time, the terror of the novel plays out against the backdrop of Johann Sebastian Bach's powerful legacy. It is a book written in a single breath about violence and beauty impossibly conjoined. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. 21 lawmakers of the US urged President Trump to repair American relations with India. And India star batter Smriti Mandhana sets a new world record. We'll tell you what in just a bit.
So now you can't talk about British imperialism in India without talking about the East India Company.
Britain is just dotted with the visible representations of loot from India. The one thing you folks have never done is just say sorry.
Are you ready to roll?
I'm ready to roll.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Now, Israel and the Hamas have signed an agreement on Thursday to cease fire and free Israeli hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. This is the first phase of US President Donald Trump's initiative to end the war in Gaza. The agreement was confirmed following indirect talks in Egypt's Sharm el-Sheikh. An Israeli spokesperson said the ceasefire will take effect once ratified by Israeli government following a security cabinet meeting. However, high-profile Palestinian prisoner Marwan Barghouti will not be part of the prisoner exchange.
Now, the final draft of Phase 1 was signed this morning in Egypt by all parties to release all of the hostages. And the IDF will then redeploy to that yellow line we mentioned, which will lead to the military controlling and holding about 53% of the Gaza Strip. Now, Phase 1 stands very clear. All of our hostages, the living and deceased, will be released 72 hours later, which will bring us to Monday. Has Israel agreed or refused to release Palestinian prisoner Marwan Barghouti? I can tell you at this point in time that he will not be part of this release.
US Congresswoman Deborah Ross and Congressperson Ro Khanna led a group of 19 members of the Congress in urging President Trump to take immediate steps to repair America's strained relations with India and to reverse his administration's harmful tariff policies. In the letter, the lawmakers warned that President Trump's recent tariff hikes, which raised duties on Indian goods to as high as 50%, have undermined relations with India and hurt both American consumers and manufacturers. The letter further said that recent actions by the US administration have strained relations with the world's largest democracy, creating negative consequences for both the countries. The lawmakers have urged Donald Trump to take immediate steps to reset and repair this critical partnership. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen comfortably survived two bids to remove her after European Parliament rejected no confidence motions on Thursday. EU lawmakers rejected the two motions of censure, with 378 members of the 720-strong Parliament expressing support for von der Leyen and her team of commissioners in the first vote and 383 in the second. The results were slightly better for the EU executive chief than in July, when 360 lawmakers had voted against a motion. Although the motions of censure had almost no chance of reaching the two-thirds majority required to unseat her. Some lawmakers said they could expose more general disquiet over her leadership and destabilize the EU Assembly, whose backing is required to pass legislation. The European Commission decided to open an investigation over allegations of Hungary spying on European institutions and staff following a joint investigation by Hungarian outlet Direct 36 and European media including Der Tij and Der Spiegel. A Commission spokesperson said the allegations are being taken very seriously.
The Commission is taking note, of course, of all the reporting on the subject matter today, according to which there have been espionage operations pursued by a Hungarian intelligence service against the EU and members of its staff. The Commission takes, as usual, such allegations very seriously, and we remain committed to protecting Commission staff, Commission information and networks from illicit intelligence gathering actions. Now, this is a matter of operational security, which is why, as usual, I won't be able to comment much, but what I can say is that we will be setting up an internal group to look into these allegations.
Now, the IUCN World Conservation Congress 2025 began in Abu Dhabi on Thursday with over 1,400 organizations from 160 plus countries. Themed Powering Transformative Conservation, the event focuses on urgent action for biodiversity and climate. Among the key issues gaining momentum at this year's Congress are two motions. Motion 087, which advocates a science-based policy on synthetic biology, balancing innovation like species restoration with biosafety concerns. Meanwhile, Motion 108 seeks regulation of the commercial pet trade in wildlife to curb overharvesting and illegal trafficking. Traffic movement across Nepal has been severely disrupted after landslides and floods triggered by continuous rainfall blocked 9 major highways. Key routes affected include the Koshi Highway in Sankhuwasabha, Mechi Highway in Ilam, and Tamor Corridor in Panchthar. Pasang Lamu and BP highways in Bagmati are also closed. One-way traffic is open on parts of the Koshi and Kanti highways. Authorities are working to clear the debris and restore connectivity. The International Monetary Fund and the Sri Lankan government have reached a staff-level agreement. This is on the 5th review of Sri Lanka's reform program under the Extended Fund Facility. Once approved by the IMF board, it will unlock $347 billion in new financing. The IMF said reform measures have helped sustain recovery with inflation easing, reserves improving and growth outperforming expectations. It added that continued commitment to reforms is vital to maintain stability and rebuild confidence in the economy. Now, Dindi India has spoken exclusively with Chairman and Managing Director of India's premier public sector telecom giant, Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited or BSNL, Robert R. Ravi. He has explained how BSNL is continuously expanding its network footprint and strengthening its reach in rural areas. The CMD also said that after 4G, the company is now moving towards 5G. Let's hear what the BSNL CMD had to say in his conversation with DD India's Ankit Mishra.
We have a special guest with us, the CMD, Robert J. Ravi with us, the BSNL CMD here. Sir, what would you like to have say this BSNL's progressive rate, and what would you like to say on this event too?
Yeah, I think as you have seen, now we are trying to showcase ourselves. We have just recently launched our 4G stack, our own indigenous 4G stack. Honorable Prime Minister has launched it across the country as the next step towards 5G. How do I build the 5G network? We have a lot of initiatives where 5G use cases are there. Maybe it be a guided vehicles or in mines, etc. We have showcased a number of ideas, the futuristic version of what we try to do. We also touched base what we are trying to do in the rural environment. We have a stall on the digital Anganwadi, the rural establishment of how we can have all the services being run efficiently. We also are showcasing something very, very important in the near future. We wanted to give a secure connection for our customers. So we have started something on a quantum secure communication also. So please go into the stall. We have an array of new activities that is BSNL.
So what was the customer ratio increase level right now you can see after launching 4G?
Yeah, we are seeing good traction of new customers coming, and we are also trying to give an option that we should test this 4G customer. So we introduced something like a freedom plan in August. So more and more customers are trying it. But as you know, it's an indigenous technology. We take feedback from the people, correct a bit ourselves. I'm very sure in months to come, we're going to have a lot of customers coming into our network.
Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. Signing off with camera person Vishwabandhu, Ankit Mishra for DD India.
And now some sporting updates. Star India batter Smriti Mandhana has set a new world record for the most runs scored by a woman cricketer in ODIs in a single calendar year. The previous record of 970 runs set by Australia's Belinda Clark in 1997 stood for nearly 3 decades. Needing just 12 runs to surpass the mark, the 29-year-old achieved the milestone during India's ODI World Cup clash against South Africa in Visakhapatnam, etching her name in the history books. The left-hander has aggregated her runs in 17 matches at an average close to 60 and a strike rate of 113.76. She scored 4 centuries in 2025. And that's all we could pack into this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. It's available on both Android and iOS. Just scan the QR code on the screen, download the app. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.